Hello everyone, my name is Carlos and I'm here again to talk to you all today about how to play golf and the history of golf, right? But before we get started, I actually wanted to tell you guys that I used to work at a golf course, so I have a lot of knowledge on golf, on playing golf, and actually teaching golf because I used to also instruct students on how to play golf. So let's get started on this presentation, right? So first thing we're gonna start off with is the history of golf, right? So golf actually originated in Scotland. Many of people have actually told me in the past that they thought that golf originated here in the United States, but that's not really true. It actually originated in Scotland, right? But people have been playing the sport since the year 1552, which is actually crazy because that's a long time ago that they've been playing the sport. And it's the fact that it's still alive today blows my mind. I don't know how it's done. But now, the next thing is that the first golf tournament was actually the first golf tournament held here in the United States was in Rhode Island in the year 1895, right? Kind of crazy to think that, but yep, it was actually held in Rhode Island in that year. Now, all this information here that I'm showing you was actually found on an article online called Golf and Sports Bar. So let's move on to the next topic. So what is the PGA, right? What is the PGA? Everyone, when you see golf, you think PGA. So PGA actually stands for Professional Golfers Association. So if for those that didn't know that, it's actually professional golfers, not golf, Professional Golfers Association, which a lot of people didn't know. They thought it was just golf, but you know, the more you know. Now, the next thing is that it was established in the year 1929, right? Which is kind of crazy because you would think since golf was alive since 1552, it would have been established way longer ago, or a long time ago, or before that at least, but actually it wasn't. It was in the year 1929, and the thing about that is that there were other companies or associations that tried to do this, what PGA did, but there was just too little people and they just weren't able to gain success with it. But PGA did a great job, and yeah, as you can see, they still are here today. Now, the next thing is that the first broadcasting, which was in 1958, actually showed the championship that year, which Mr. Dow Finsterwald, I'm sorry about that if I said that wrong, but Dow Finsterwald actually won that championship. And that's kind of crazy to think he won it all the way back in 1858, you know, or 1950, I'm sorry. That's kind of crazy. Now, again, all these sources that were found in this slide were actually found in a journal inside of an article that I found called the Journal of Sports History, just in case you guys want to know. And the next thing is how to actually play golf, right? So the first thing you're going to be doing, right? You're walking up to the first tee box, right? The first thing you're going to do is you bring out your driver, which is basically the golf club with the biggest head in it. So the material that you're actually going to hit, it's going to be the biggest one, the one that has the biggest one, right? And the other thing you're going to be doing is when you're hitting a driver, you're going to want to hit off a tee. What a tee is, it's a little stick that you stick into the ground, and it lets you hit the ball a little bit higher up than on the ground, right? Because with the driver, since the head is so big, you're gonna need some space to be able to hit it and have a good swing with it. So you're gonna really need that tee. Now, what your job is, or what your objective is to do in the driving stage, is get it as far away as you can towards the hole. So you're gonna be teeing off, and you wanna at least be able to make it halfway, or at least a little bit before halfway in the hole to have a good drive, right? Now, after you drive, you're gonna be approaching. I'm sorry. Now, when you approach, you're typically gonna be using a wedge between a 4 or 5 iron to all the way a 9 iron, maybe 9 iron. Maybe you could use a pitching wedge depending on how far your drive was. But your objective in the approach is basically getting the ball onto the putting green, because it's gonna be a lot easier for you to put the ball and make your next swing, or make your next swing, to the hole. So the next thing after the approach is actually gonna be putting, right? If you're on the putting green, you're gonna be putting, right? So the putter is actually a golf club with the flattest head on it, the flattest face, I'm sorry. So what this does is it's a lot easier to hit it on flatter surfaces, you know, but the difficult part with the putter is the strength, right? If you hit it a little bit too hard, the ball is gonna be rolling down the green, and you're gonna go out of the green. And that's something that you don't wanna do. So you gotta watch out when using the putter, right? You wanna stay on the green. And other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Golf isn't too hard of a sport to play, but it is kind of difficult hitting the clubs. You know, it might sound easy. Oh, you just gotta put the ball in the hole and it's not too hard. No, golf is a very difficult sport and you need a lot of practice for it, but it's a pretty simple sport to play, just like I just told you guys. So I hope all this information was useful and you guys learned a lot today. So thank you for your time and thank you for listening to me and having me on here. Have a nice day, guys.